Happy morning, my dear children. In this week, we can see poem 3, Firework Night, which was written by Enid Blyton. Before that, we can recall the last week's sum up of the prose 3 about being safe. Are you safe and secure, my dear? Yes, we are safe and secure in our home, isn't it? Good. Now, let us come to the prose 3. This lesson is about safety awareness. Prashant lived with his parents in Tiruchirappalli. In summer, he visits his grandparents in Nagathi, a river island at Tanjore district. The village is always evergreen with mighty trees and landscapes. Prashant always spends his vacation there with his grandfather and his friends. His grandfather was a retired central government employee. As he travelled to many parts of India, his knowledge amused Prashant. He came to visit his grandfather just then. His friends came home to play with him. Grandfather gave them some tips for their safety. He told how careful they should be while crossing the road. Okay. They should walk on the right hand side of the road against the traffic. While crossing the road, they should first look right and then left, after that right. They should never use a cell phone while walking on the road. Road safety rules are for our safety. We should follow them strictly. Then he gives some instructions to be followed for the sunstroke. After that, his grandfather told the safety measures to be practiced at home. At last, the children thanked grandfather for guiding them and giving his valuable advice on safety awareness. Okay. Now, let us see the poem 3, Firework Night, which was written by Enid Blyton. First, we can see the poet's introduction. Enid Mary Blyton was born on 11 August 1897. She was an English children's writer, and her books have been among the world's best sellers. Her books are still enormously popular and have been translated into 90 languages. She died on 28 November 1968. Okay. Now let us see the meaning of the new words. First one, bang, a sudden loud sharp noise. Yelp, a short sharp cry, especially of pain or alarm. Trembling, to shake slightly, short moments as from fear. Fourth one, rushing, moving with urgent haste or fast. Couch, it's a type of high bed or sofa. Crouch, adopt a position where the knees are bent and upper body is brought forward and down. Kennel, a small shelter for a dog. Fright, a sudden intense feeling of fear. Now let us come to the poem. My dear children, be attentive and listen carefully. Firework night. Bang. What's that? Bang bang. Oh, hark. The guns are shooting in the dark. Little guns and big ones too. Bang, bang, bang. What shall I do? In this poem, the poet focuses on a dog being scared by the fireworks on a bonfire night. He hears the sound of the guns shooting in the dark. He listens to the bang sound and asks, what's that? There are little guns and big ones being shot everywhere. Out of fear, he questions himself, what shall I do? Now, let us come to the second stanza. Mistress, master, hear me help. I am out of doors. I want your help. Let me in. Oh, let me in. Before those fireworks begin. To shoot again, I can't bear that. My tail is down. My ears are flat. I am trembling here outside the door. Oh, don't you love me anymore? Here, the dog barks loudly and asks his mistress and master to hear his painful cry for help. Then he requests him to allow him into the house before those fireworks begin. Okay. Then the fireworks will begin to shoot again. He can't bear that. His tail is down and his ears are flat out of fear. He is trembling there outside the door. Sympathetically, the dog questions the mistress whether she doesn't love him anymore. Bang! I think I'll die with fright unless you let me in tonight. Shall we let him in, children? Ah, now the door is opened wide. I am rushing through. I am safe inside. The lights are on. It's warm and grand. Let us come to the third stanza. Here, the sound is heard again. Which sound, my dear? The bang sound. Okay, so the dog says that he thinks he will die with fright if she never lets him into the house that night. The mistress decides to open the door after getting permission from her children. The door is opened wide. The dog rushes through and feels that he is safe inside. The lights are on. Now it is warm and grand inside. Okay. Now let us come to the fourth stanza of the poem. Mistress, let me lick your hand before I slip behind the couch. There I'll hide myself and crouch in safety till the bangs are done. Then to my kennel I will run and guard you safely all the night, because you understood my fright. Let us come to the last stanza meaning. Okay. Here the dog feels grateful to the mistress. He wants to lick her hand to show his gratitude and then slip behind the couch. There behind the sofa, he will hide in safety till the bang sounds are over. After that, the dog will run to his kennel and guard the mistress safely all throughout the night. The dog promises to do this because the mistress understood his fright and allowed him into the house. Okay. So the dog feels grateful to his mistress. My dear students, we have to show love towards animals too. Okay. Now, let us come to the figure of speech in this poem. Let us see the personification. It is a figure of speech in which a thing, an idea, or an animal is given a human attribute. It means a human qualities or characteristics. Okay. Human qualities are given to non-human things or ideas for a better understanding the writer's message. The use of personification also helps to show a character's attitude towards inanimate objects. This adds interest and fun to poems and stories. The literal meaning of the words should not be taken into consideration. In short, we can tell the inanimate objects are treated as human beings. Okay. we can see a few examples. The sun smiled down upon them. Justice is blind. The wind howled in the night. The moon played hide and seek with the clouds. The city never sleeps at night. The boat danced in the puddle. The flowers nodded their heads. The thunder grumbled. The lightning danced all over the sky. The iron hands of death. The popcorn left out of the bowl. Here, the highlighted words, however, inanimate objects, they are given as human characteristics. So, these words are called as personification. Okay, thank you, my dear.